For today's video, I'm going to use Mercy Johnson as an example because I want to make this video more relatable to married women. So, I know a lot of us Nigerians know who Mercy Johnson is, but for those who don't know who Mercy Johnson is, she's one of Nigerians' Nollywood A-list actors, or should I say actresses, who is very good at what she does. She is very good. In fact, when you talk about one of the best, she's there. She's there in their midst. So I was reading the Vanguard newspaper and I came across a story that had to do with Mercy Johnson. And the story had to do with why she stopped playing romantic scenes. And do you know what she told them? She said she stopped playing romantic scenes because her husband was not happy seeing her playing such roles. Mercy Johnson stopped playing romantic scenes because her husband was not happy seeing her playing such roles. Wow. Almighty Mercy Johnson humbled herself and stopped playing romantic roles because she wanted to make her husband happy. Do you know that this would have been a big problem for a lot of men? I mean, a lot of husbands would have had it, difficult with their wives. A lot of wives would have fought against this. A lot of wives would have kicked against this, kicked against the idea of their husband telling them what to do, telling them what to do in their careers. A lot of married women would have been against this idea. By the time they calculate how much they will be losing when they stop playing romantic scenes, this would have made these women say no to their husbands. But Almighty Mercy Johnson didn't. She agreed and humbled herself by not continuing with such scenes, with such romantic roles. And do you know that Mercy Johnson has reached a stage where she doesn't even need a man to exist? Mercy Johnson has achieved a lot in her career. She has gotten to that position where she can take care of herself comfortably without a man paying her bills. Mercy Johnson can pay her bills, but despite all that, she still humbled herself and did what was going to make her husband happy. And do you know why she did this? Do you know why she agreed to do what she did? She did it because she loves her husband. She did it because she respects her husband. And because of the love and respect she has for her husband, she submitted to his wish. She submitted to her husband. She did what was expected of every, or should I say, any responsible wife by adhering to what would make her husband happy. Do you know that when you talk about respect and submission, many women will fight you from left and right, asking you why they should respect or even submit to their husband's wish. To them, respect and submission has to do with a form of slavery, a form of imprisonment, a form of bondage under their husband. But submission has nothing to do with any of those. Submission and respect does not make you a slave to your husband. Submission to your husband does not make you imprisoned or in bondage under your husband. No. And the funny part is that when you look at that word submission, women forget that they are not the only ones submitting in their relationship. I mean, married women forget the fact that submission goes both ways. Although it's been preached a lot to women, but men too submit to their wives. When a man agrees to leave his past life and take a wife who he intends to build a home with, that is submission. Because he's going to because it means he's going to forfeit all his previous lives. Or should I say, most of the things he was doing when he was single, he would forfeit all those just because he got married. Submission is when a man takes it upon himself that he has to work in order to provide for his family. That is also submission from a man. Submission is when a man believes that as a married man, he should no longer look at other women. That is submission. Submission is also a situation where a man knows that before he makes any decision, before he makes any conclusion, he has to consider the impact it is going to be on his family, whether it's going to be a positive or a negative impact. And he would want to do everything positive to help his family grow. That is submission. That men don't talk about it or people don't talk about it doesn't mean husbands don't submit to their wives. They do. But some women, some wives see submission as slavery, which is not supposed to. So let's leave that part and continue with Mercy Johnson. For Mercy Johnson to have humbled herself just to make her husband happy shows that Mercy Johnson is actually a high-value woman. I know a lot of us, a lot of people center being high value on material things. A lot of people see high value as what your bank account looks like. No. Mercy Johnson is not a high value woman because of how much she has in her account. She's not a high value woman because of the kind of designer clothes she wears. She's not a high value woman because of the kind of cars she drives or anything that has to do with material things. No. Mercy Johnson is a high value woman because she's someone who is ready to put her family first before she makes any decision. She's ready to work with her husband in order to help her family grow. She's someone who is ready to make the effort in making her husband happy and not making things difficult for him. A high-value woman is someone who is self-sufficient, but yet humble. A high-value woman is someone who is selfless and not self-centered. A high-value woman is someone who is ready to take care of her family instead of, irrespective of her own wants and sometimes needs. A high-value woman is someone who knows her worth, but yet loves and respects her husband to the extent that she submits to her husband's needs. And these are the ways you can determine who a high-value woman or a man is, not by material things. So now tell me, if people like Mercy Johnson, who have acquired a lot in their careers, who do not even need their husbands to exist, to live comfortably, to pay their bills, if women like this can respect and submit to their husbands, what stops you from respecting and submitting to your own husband?